What up, coaches? This is David, and today I want to talk to you about how important choosing the right business model can be, not just for your business, but for your freaking life. Because the business model you choose, it dictates your life. Have you ever thought about that? The model you choose, it becomes your life, dude. And then a lot of us, we have it, in my opinion, in the inverse direction, which means we try to mold our life around our business because that, they tell us a business should come first, right? But what if we did the inverse? What if a life came first and then we structured a business, a profitable business around that? And so the past year and a half, that's what I, really pondered about and really deliberately designed my new business to reflect a life first approach, right? And think about a business model as the foundations of your business, right? If you're building on the wrong foundations, it doesn't matter how beautiful or how big the structure looks, it's gonna freaking collapse, right? And it becomes this single point of failure. Okay, it becomes a single point of failure. And so I'll kind of picture the old classic traditional, coaching model versus the new model, which I envision, and then which I believe has, all the benefits of, or many benefits over the older model. Okay, so the classic old model is hey, get traffic and get them to a book to call link, right? A classic book to call model, right? And have a sales team or a closer or whatever, sales process and a calendar system, and remind them, send them text and reminder stuff, and then get them on the call and then close them to the freaking program, right? And if you really map out your business, you'll notice that sales call process, it's not just one of the biggest bottlenecks in your business, but it's also a single point of failure. It becomes a single point of failure because if you remove the sales process, say for example, you're sick, or your closer is sick. And then let's say both your closer and you are sick on the same day. So you have nobody to do the calls for, right? Well, that becomes the single point of failure, and then you have no income. You have no profits because of it. And a sales call, it's not only, in my opinion, again, this is just my own 2 cents, right? It's not only hard to scale because it's a non-leveraged thing. It's a non-leveraged activity. It's a one-to-one type of activity, right? Not only is it not scalable, it's hard to scale, but you're not building something for the long term. You're not building anything for the long term, right? It's not an asset because it's once you do the freaking sales call, it's you don't have an asset to show for it, except maybe for the sales training. But then what I figured out is and it's not just me, it's, I'm on the shoulders of giants here because, I got these ideas from people who I look up to, right? But what I discovered is that you can actually just get rid of the entire freaking sales process altogether and then just remove this entire bottleneck, right? And so it becomes a single point of failure, right? But then let's envision a newer model, and this newer model, it has multiple points of failures. So you're not building on lousy foundation. It's you can get sick, and then you'll still have these engines running for you. So I just like to call it a marketing-based business versus a sales-heavy based business, right? And the thing about the marketing-based model is it has leverage, right? It has leverage. It's a one-to-many, right? It's a one-to-many. Not only is it a one-to-many, but it's building an asset, right? You build, you do these marketing content, and then that you have that as an asset now. And so you don't have to do the repeating, you don't have to do the monotonous, the freaking typical sales call again and again and again. So I want you to think about it like this, right? We had the Industrial Revolution, right? We had the Industrial Revolution, and then we had these physical, demanding, monotonous, repeatable tasks. We now have machines do the work, like equipment do the work during the Industrial Revolution, right? And then we now have the digital revolution. Okay, we have the digital revolution where we're supposed to have like the monotonous, repeatable tasks, and then using digital, stuff to do the work for us, right? But then if we're doing, like the unleveraged stuff like the sales call, and once you do a bunch of these sales calls, you're gonna notice it's the same thing. You say the same shit, you repeat the same stuff, all you do the same objections again and again, right? So it's like, why not scale that digitally, right? And so if we're not using that, it's kind of like the equivalent of like not using like the equipment or like the like the machines during the Industrial Revolution, and just like doing everything with your hands, or like hiring a bunch of like labor people to do it, right? So the main thing is, let's use leverage, not labor, right? Use leverage, not labor. And I don't mean to like get rid of like all the people in your freaking business, but just to ask yourself, like, can we use leverage? Like, can we actually do the repeatable task with something that scales better, right? So that's what the marketing model that I'm like trying to help you to envision here. I believe that's like the new model going forward. And like, if you think about like the whole coaching business, it's like a big game of telephone, dude. It's like they tell you to do, the sales calls, the Zoom calls, and it gets passed down from one person to another, and then by the end of the freaking, end of the telephone line, it's like a completely different message, right? And then we just do it because we've been told to do it without actually like questioning it, without actually like, is this the right thing for our business? Like again, going back to like the foundation example, it's like when you realize when you are so sales emphasized, so sales heavy, it's that quicksand foundations. And then once you remove that, it's like the freaking whole building is gone. Versus like a marketing model, it's like you can remove, like certain parts. You can even maybe even remove yourself from the marketing aspect at least. And then it'll still continue to advertise for you, right? It'll still continue to like spread the word for you. So that's a new model that I kind of want to picture in your head. So yeah, if you are into maybe even entertaining the idea of removing the calls and then maybe shifting to a more leverage and marketing model, then I created a free community. It also comes with a free course, by the way. If you comment below this video with the word marketing model, then I will send you the link for you to check out. So, and if you are also like an established coach looking for more marketing ideas on how to get more clients and more profits for your business, then a sub and a like is appreciated for the video. So I'll send the link once again. Comment down below with marketing model and I'll send it to you, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.